You are not finished. The spark inside you is not a childish flame that flickers out with age. It is a quiet ember, patient and ready, waiting for gentle breath. If you have reached 60 and feel that the colors of your life have dulled, or that the list of things you used to love now feels like a museum exhibit, this is your invitation to reclaim that spark. This is not a pep talk built on cliches. It is a practical, soulful guide to rediscovering passion, curiosity, and purpose after 60. An approach built for people who know the value of time and the cost of pretending you don't. You have earned the right to choose how to spend your days. Let's make them sing again. Begin with a small, exact promise to yourself. Don't promise to find passion in vague terms. Decide to spend 30 minutes 3 times a week doing one thing purely for curiosity. It could be sketching, walking a different park route, reading the first chapter of a book on a subject you know little about, or learning a simple song on an instrument. 30 minutes is long enough to notice something new and short enough that you won't dread it. These micro-commitments are the scaffolding of habit. They let you sneak up on joy without the pressure that often kills it. Next, reclaim the practice of doing things badly at first. If you haven't painted since your 30s, your first attempts will look awkward. If you try a new language, you will mispronounce words. The curse of age is often the expectation to be competent immediately. The cure is permission to be delightfully clumsy. Give yourself a safety net of kindness. Tell yourself, aloud if it helps, I am learning, not performing. Freedom grows in that space. Once you allow imperfection, you trade the need to be perfect for the freedom to be present. Curiosity is the oxygen of passion. Treat curiosity like a muscle. Train it. Ask yourself daily, what question can I follow today? It might be as modest as, how do olive trees survive hot summers? Or as bold as, what would I do if I wasn't worried what other people think? Follow the question into a book, a podcast, an online lecture, a conversation with someone younger. Curiosity moves you outward and inward at the same time. It invites novelty and refreshes old routines. When you begin to ask, you'll be surprised at how often the answers point to things you already loved, but forgot how to reach. Think of your hidden passions as seeds gathered across a life. Some of them fell by the wayside because of work, family, or survival. Others were never planted. Now you have the patchwork soil of experience, fertile and forgiving. Plant one seed not because it will make you famous or rich, but because the idea makes your chest warm. Maybe it is a memoir, a terrace garden of hardy herbs, a photography project that documents friends and neighbors, or learning to fix small things around the house. The only criterion, it lights a small, steady glow when you imagine it. Community is the fertilizer. Passion thrives among people who care, encourage, and sometimes gently challenge us. You don't have to find a soulmate to kindle your spark. You need companions. Look for a class with people your age or younger, a volunteer role that connects you to others, or a local interest group. Churches, libraries, community colleges, makerspaces, and community gardens are fertile places to meet others who are also looking for meaning. Don't dismiss online communities either. Forums and hobby groups can turn into real-world friendships. Join before you feel ready. Presence precedes belonging. Rituals create steady light. Decide on a rhythm that honors your energy and your curiosity. It might be Saturday mornings for creative play, Tuesday afternoons for walking and thinking, and one evening a week reserved for a video call with a friend who provokes you. Rituals make your commitments predictable, and predictability makes it easier to show up. They also mark your life with small ceremonies, lighting a candle when you write, putting on a particular sweater for a music practice session, setting a particular playlist for gardening. These tiny rites signal to your brain that something important is happening. Money matters, but do not let it be the boundary of possibility. Many passions can be pursued inexpensively. Local libraries offer workshops and books. Community classes often run at low cost. Nature is free. If a passion requires some investment, plan for it as you would any meaningful purchase. Set aside a small monthly amount and watch it grow. The joy of a modest investment, like a used camera or a kiln rental with others, often exceeds the cost when you're buying experiences rather than status. Ask for help. You might be used to being the helper, the problem solver, the parent. Now lean into asking. Ask a friend to join you in trying a new hobby. Ask a neighbor for carpooling to a community class. Ask a local librarian for reading suggestions on a half-known topic. Asking creates connection and breaks the myth that passion must be found alone. People are often delighted to be invited and honored to participate. Design your environment to invite curiosity. The path between desire and action is often physical. If you want to write, keep a notebook and pen on your bedside table. If you want to draw, put a sketchbook where it's easy to see. If you want to dance, create a small, safe space in your living room and mark it visually as a dance zone. Our bodies and spaces are partners in habit. A tidy, welcoming environment reduces the friction of starting. Balance energy and ambition. After 60, energy levels change. Your schedule should honor your best hours. I know people who schedule creative work in the morning when their minds are clear and socializing in the afternoon when they feel more relaxed. Don't force yourself into a youthful timetable. Instead, plan your passion projects around when you feel most vibrant. Small bursts of focused attention are often more potent than long, fatigued sessions. Confront fear gently. Fear of failing, fear of looking foolish, fear of wasting time, these are all valid. But fear is often a fog over a museum of possibilities. When fear appears, label it. Say, "This is fear," and then ask, "What would curiosity say?" Replace the judgmental inner critic with an exploratory friend. If fear points to a real risk, financial or physical, plan to mitigate it. If it's a story you tell yourself, test it with a tiny experiment. Fear dissolves when met with action. Turn nostalgia into practice, not prison. Memories are fertile ground for reclaimed passions. If you once loved baking, play with a new recipe. If you love theater, audition for a local production or volunteer backstage. But don't be trapped by the notion that passion must look exactly as it did decades ago. Your tastes have changed. Let your passions mature. New versions often fit you better now than old forms ever did. Make room for boredom. Our culture fears boredom, but boredom is often the clearest indicator that ripe curiosity is waiting for us. Don't fill every quiet minute with noise. Let silence happen. Walk without a podcast, sit without scrolling, stare at a tree. The mind needs blank canvas to create. When you allow boredom to exist without panic, your brain will begin to weave new threads of interest and insight. Practice creative accountability. Instead of treating your new interest as a secret, announce it. Tell a friend, write about it on social media, or post a picture in a local group. Accountability multiplies motivation. Better yet, pair with a creative buddy who will check in and encourage you. The pressure should be gentle, like a warm nudge rather than a shove. Celebrate small wins together. They create momentum. Learn to pivot gracefully. Not every experiment will become a lifelong passion. Some things will fizzle, others will morph. That's healthy. Treat each project as a learning expedition rather than a lifetime vow. If a new interest doesn't stick, ask what it taught you and how it nudged your tastes. Pivoting is not failure. It's refinement. Each redirected attempt is an arrow pointing to what truly resonates. Use technology wisely. You don't have to be a tech wizard, but small digital tools can expand your reach. Video tutorials, online classes, community forums, and digital galleries can all amplify your practice. Take one beginner-friendly platform and learn to use it well. Maybe YouTube for how-to guides, Masterclass or Coursera for structured learning, or Instagram for sharing your creative work. But guard your time. These tools should serve your passion, not distract you. A simple rule is to schedule tech hours and tech-free hours during your week. Storytelling is fuel. Record your process. Keep a journal. Record short voice notes. Make a photo series. When you narrate your own journey, you consolidate learning, see patterns, and create artifacts of meaning. These records might become the material for essays, a memoir, or a collection of images later. More importantly, they become testimony to yourself that you dared to pursue something new. Integrate movement into the spark. Physical movement is not only a health booster, it also stimulates creativity. Walks, gentle yoga, tai chi, or dancing can rewire your brain toward play and exploration. Many people find their best ideas while walking. Movement invites the body to participate in discovery, releasing tension and making space for delight. Be deliberate with choice of companions. Spend more time with people who encourage your curiosity and less with those who dampen it. If a friend or family member consistently responds with skepticism or discouragement, set a boundary. Surrounding yourself with curiosity lovers, People who notice beauty, ask questions, and try things will amplify your energy. Conversely, you can be the spark for someone else. Your curiosity may be contagious. Seek small mastery, not perfection. Mastery is addictive in a healthy way. Each small skill learned fuels the desire for another. Choose projects where progress is visible. Learning to play 3 chords on guitar, mastering a pasta dough, photographing a dozen sunsets. These tangible markers of improvement keep motivation alive. The point is not to become a virtuoso overnight, but to enjoy the steady satisfaction of climbing a gentle hill. Design micro-adventures. Adventure doesn't have to be extreme. A micro-adventure might be visiting a town you've never explored, taking a train for a day, sleeping under the stars in your backyard, or signing up for a dance class in a genre you've never tried. These small departures from routine refresh the mind, expose you to new communities, and spark curiosity. Use the wisdom of constraints. Limitations, time, money, mobility, can be helpful. They force creativity. If you have 30 minutes each morning, what can you do that matters? If you have a modest budget, which low-cost passions light your heart? Constraints help you focus on what matters rather than overwhelming you with infinite possibilities. Find roles that let you mentor and be mentored. Teaching consolidates knowledge and gives a sense of contribution. Being mentored invites humility and learning. Connect with younger people through community programs, schools, or intergenerational projects. These exchanges are energizing. They fuse the satisfaction of giving with the thrill of receiving fresh perspectives. Welcome the unexpected. Passion often arrives disguised as inconvenience. A neighbor asks you to join a pottery workshop, or your grandchild hands you a camera.
Say yes once in a while without overthinking.
The best sparks sometimes appear as accidents. You don't have to commit forever. You just have to try. Plan for seasons. Energy changes with seasons, literal and life seasons. Some months you may have more stamina for social projects. Other months you may prefer quiet, solitary work. Recognize that passions can ebb and flow, and plan accordingly. Create a seasonal schedule to rotate through social, creative, physical, and reflective pursuits so that all parts of you are fed over the year. Honor the grief and loss that come with age. Reclaiming spark doesn't mean ignoring sorrow. Aging comes with losses of people, roles, and sometimes capacities. Allow grief its space and then, in small steps, invite curiosity back into life. Many people discover that their new passions become companions to grief, not substitutes. They notice that art, music, or study can express what words cannot, and that creation sometimes transforms pain into meaning. Celebrate ritual closure. After finishing a project, create a small ritual. Invite a friend for tea, hang your work, make a short video. Rituals of completion mark progress and make achievements visible. They help you see the arc of your curiosity, from seed to sprout to first bloom. Keep health practical and preventative. Reclaiming passion is easier when your body cooperates. Regular checkups, balanced nutrition, sleep, and movement reduce the friction of daily life. Small routines, hydration, stretching, fiber-rich meals pay large dividends. If you have chronic conditions, learn the most effective management strategies and seek practitioners who respect your desire for active living. Treat your health as an enabler, not an obstacle. Make peace with pace. Your spark does not have to match someone else's tempo. Compare thinking is a thief of joy. Your neighbor may run marathons while you cultivate a garden. Both are worthy. Allow your rhythm to be your compass. This relative gentleness is one of the greatest freedoms of later life. Turn creative practice into a legacy practice. Consider legacy not as a monument, but as a seed you plant in others. If you love cooking, teach a neighbor child your recipes. If you love woodwork, create simple items for community spaces. Your passion can ripple outward and create relationships that last beyond you. Use curiosity to reframe failure. Early in any new pursuit, failure is common. Use it as information. Ask, what does it teach? How did it reveal a blind spot? Failure at 60 is less a tragedy and more an honest map. When you interpret failure as data, your experiments become strategic and less emotionally loaded. Protect your time fiercely. You might feel pulled by family, obligations, or old patterns of caretaking. Learn to say no without apology when a yes would dilute your energy for what matters. Practice scripts. I'm honored you asked, but I'm focusing on this project right now. Boundaries are love for yourself and for the people you care about. You cannot give fully from an empty cup. Celebrate small rituals of joy. Make tiny feasts. Fresh fruit with a neighbor, a playlist that represents your current mood, flowers on the table, or a ritual walk. These are sparks that keep the embers warm and, over time, allow them to burst into flame. Be patient with depth. The richest passions often arrive slowly. Do not expect fireworks every week. Instead, cultivate soil, read, practice, try, fail, tweak, rest, try again. Depth emerges where time and attention meet. Your 60-plus years are an advantage. You have the patience to let meaning grow. Invite professional guidance when needed. Coaches, therapists, or creative tutors can expedite progress and help you understand blocks that keep you from starting. A few sessions with a mentor can remove years of stumbling. Therapy, in particular, can clear the emotional clutter that hides the spark. There is no shame in seeking help. It is strategic self-care. Frame your story as a continuous becoming. Your life is not a series of closed chapters, but an ongoing narrative. Each new interest becomes a footnote, then a paragraph, and perhaps a chapter. By thinking in terms of becoming, not finishing, you free yourself from the fear that starting now is somehow late. It's not late, it's another season. Finally, give yourself permission to delight. Joy is not frivolous. It is a moral act when life insists on seriousness. Choose small delights daily and treat them as non-negotiable. They are the spark's fuel. Reclaiming your spark after 60 is not a project to complete in a weekend. It is a recalibration of life, a reorientation that honors your experience and frees your curiosity. It asks you to be deliberate, to set tiny promises, be clumsy, cultivate community, and protect your time. It asks you to be brave, to try, fail, pivot, and try again. And it asks you to be kind, to yourself first, then to others. If you take only one thing away from this, let it be this: curiosity and passion are not reserved for the young. They are capacities that age can amplify if you give them room. The years behind you have provided wisdom, perspective, and a refined sense of what matters. Use them. The ember inside you is ready. Breathe on it. Light will follow.